More shockers from India's top enemy, terror mastermind Hafiz Saeed. In fact, now Hafiz Saeed, while addressing a rally in Peshawar, has declared India as the next prime target to break down through jihad. Saeed has said, and I quote, "Now only two more powers are left in the world to break. First is India and second is Israel. Both are our next target for jihad. After that, Islam will rule the world." The rally clearly had the support of the Pakistan government as well as the opposition parties headed by Imran Khan and others. It was attended by MPs of the ruling PMLN, Imran Khan's PTI and Jama'at-ud-Da'wah. The comments come even as Pakistan has sought resumption of foreign secretary level talks with India, a clear indication of Islamabad's doublespeak. Saeed had just a couple of days ago revealed what was an open secret, that his organization and the Pakistani establishment have a symbiotic relationship, saying that he helps the Pakistan army in waging jihad in Kashmir. Saeed also slammed India for the arrest of separatist Masrat Alam.
दो सुपर पावर्स शिकस्त खा गई, दो मोर्चे बाकी हैं, इंशाअल्लाह ये मोर्चे गिर जाएंगे और मैं आपस में उम्मत का इत्तेहाद और इस्राईल के खिलाफ ऐलान जिहाद।
देखिए, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि भारत तो आतंकवाद से जूझ ही रहा है, उसमें कोई धमकी दे देंगे तो उसमें देश हिल तो नहीं जाएगा ना। हमारा देश मजबूती से ये सब चीज़ों को आज तक संभालते आया है, जवाब देते आया है, और इस पे घबरा के हम लोगों को उसमें रिएक्शन देना ही सही बात नहीं।
All right, joining us now is our strategic affairs editor Gaurav Sawant from the newsroom, and in the studio we have with us Brigadier V. Mahalingam, who is a defense expert. First to our guest, Brigadier Mahalingam, do you think India's strategy vis-a-vis Pakistan so far has it proved effective? Because here we have a person spewing venom against India day in and day out, and this time his rally is attended by people from the government as well as those from the opposition.
Yes, the point that I would like to make is that our strategy is totally defensive minded. Our people, for some good reason, cannot act. Now, if you recall, the United States of America, which has got so much of leverage on Pakistan, which has been giving so much of funds to Pakistan, was not able to convince Pakistan to get hold of Osama bin Laden and hand them over to him. So what did Pakistan do? Pakistan had to take its own actions in getting Osama bin Laden. Therefore, as far as India is concerned, what is the logic or reason why the Pakistan army, or for that matter the Pakistan government, will hand over Hafiz Saeed to us? He is the mastermind of the 2611. Therefore, our problem is there are a number of peaceniks in this country who keep telling that we must talk. Yes, please do talk. I have no objection to it. But until and unless you talk to Pakistan from a position of strength, they are not going to act. Now, how do you do that? There are n number of ways by which you can get at Hafiz Saeed. Not only special operation, intelligence operation, any number of ways. India, for some unknown reason, is defensive. If Pakistan, for example, is doing what it is doing in India today, is India incapable of doing the same thing across the border? I think that we do not know our potentials. I must tell you.
Sir, I'll just ask you to pause there and let's take a question with Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, help us understand, first of all, what is the present government's understanding of Pakistan and how it's playing out terror against India, how to put a stop to it, what's the political way of doing it?
Two things. One, there is clear and present danger along the line of control, also in depth areas and the international border. And this isn't just this threat that has been issued by Hafiz Mohammad Saeed in Peshawar there is a wider pattern to this. This pattern begins from the release of Zakir Rahman Lakwi, a series of statements that have since been made, and movement spotted across the line of control. So there could be a bad action along the line of control or the international border, or even a terror activity within the rest of the country. This is what sources in the government are telling us. So they're alert about this. But that's a tactical situation. As far as the bigger situation is concerned, the government of India is extremely clear.
All right, let's go back to our debate and a very contentious issue here as to how India is dealing with its top enemy. Terror 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed, who's spewing venom across the border, this time at a rally in Peshawar, terming India as the #1 enemy where the jihad needs to be waged. Defense expert Raj Kadyan is now joining us on the phone line. Sir, what is India's policy, and do you think that the policy is not strong enough as far as dealing with Pakistan and a terror mastermind like Hafiz Saeed is concerned? Is India not being able to put adequate pressure on Pakistan and through international means?
Before we come to our response to Hafiz Saeed in particular and Pakistan in general, let me state that Hafiz Saeed has been running around like a wild horse in Pakistan with full protection and patronage provided by the Pakistani regime. What he has said in Peshawar 2 days ago, there are two things. One is very significant, other is not so. One, he has said that he is going to target India. There is nothing new in it. He has already been doing so, in fact. All this militancy in the valley, the heightened militancy, has his aid, his protection, his funding and his motivation. What he has said, something else. He said that in this he has the support of the Pakistani army and the Pakistani government. Now that is something very, very serious. Coming from Hafiz Saeed, nobody can doubt that this statement is absolutely true, nor has it been denied by Pakistan. This is something which needs to be noted by the international community. I think it's high time the international community gave a serious thought to the fact of declaring Pakistan a terrorist state and imposing sanctions or whatever other punitive action the Committee of Nations can do. Our response to Pakistan, fortunately, last August we took a hard line. First of all, let me state that if the two countries have to arrive at a border settlement, whatever disputes we have, a dialogue is basically required. We have tried war, Pakistan has tried, we only defended ourselves. They have tried proxy war for the last 26 years. I think Pakistan today is convinced that they cannot grab Kashmir by force. Even they are keen to engage in a dialogue. But we had laid down certain conditions in August, and very stringent conditions, and rightly so, that we will talk, provided first you create a conducive atmosphere of peace. You stop the border violations, you stop terrorist attacks, and you stop meeting the Hurriyat leaders. I do not know what the current government policy is. If they relax any of these conditions, then I think the government is going to come in a very poor light and will come under a lot of criticism within India itself. But the talks, in any case, have to progress as long as they take place in a peaceful, conducive atmosphere where talks are possible. They cannot be possible under the shadow of a gun or the bomb. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I'll just take that point that you were making about India taking a hard stand last year, but by the time that we reached 2015, we have seen our Foreign Secretary going on a Sak Yatra and already meeting the Foreign Secretary of Pakistan. Gaurav, I want to take a very quick reaction from you on that. Is there a flip-flop that we are showing which perhaps is giving Pakistan an indication that we are not strong enough? Do we need to change our strategy?
Well, the strategic community of the country is clearly of the opinion that India needs to adopt a hard line when it comes to Pakistan. The template that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government set when he took over power that if you talk to Hurriyat, we will not speak to you. That template needs to remain, but that template also needs to remain internally of no engagement with the Hurriyat, because the Hurriyat is completely irrelevant as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. That is a template that the government is very clear about and should stick to that stance. Now, as far as General Qadian is saying that the world needs to declare Pakistan a terrorist state, before that, the biggest victim of Pakistan, that is India, needs to declare Pakistan a terrorist state. Unless our government does that, unless our government takes a strong stance once, you can't expect the world to fight your war. As far as the situation at the LC is concerned, or at the international border is concerned, well, the new template clearly is for every one that Pakistan kills, India kills 3. That has yielded positive result along the line of control and the international border. But that needs to now be expanded to the wider spectrum so that Pakistan-sponsored terror can be effectively dealt with. And that is where somebody like Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor, needs to follow through with the template that has been put in place.
Okay, let's get a voice in from across the border now. Lieutenant General Talat Masood is joining us on the phone line. Sir, why shouldn't India declare Pakistan a terror state when we are seeing somebody like Hafiz Saeed, who is openly saying that a jihad needs to be waged against India in the presence of people from PMLN and the prime opposition, that is Imran Khan's party? It appears that Pakistan is using Hafiz Saeed as a proxy for themselves.
Well, I think if you go to that extreme, it's somewhat laughable though. But, then Pakistan can declare India a terrorist state conducting yourself in Kashmir. So, it could be a quid pro quo, and that is not the way, responsible states conduct themselves. I think, when we talk like that, we have to be somewhat very cognizant of how the world functions. And don't think that Pakistan is so isolated that you could do that. In any case, India, the way that since Prime Minister Modi has come to power, has been taking a very strong position against Pakistan. But it hasn't worked. In fact, it has been the other way around. It has created, in a way, I'm sure that he'll realize that this is no way of dealing with Pakistan. The tougher the position you take, the exact reaction takes place from Pakistan, and that goes on, and that doesn't solve the problem. I think what we need to do is to develop a more reasonable sort of an attitude towards each other, try to engage in a dialogue like responsible states. And if you have any reservations, as you seem to have a lot of them, and Pakistan has the same, and Pakistan has some genuine problems in proceeding with this case, they can be explained, and then there can be facilitation from both sides as to how to proceed. But, this attitude of, going on the media, trying to sort of defame Pakistan, bring about false accusations, I think it's in very bad taste, I think. I'm sorry to say that.
Sir, you say that both the countries should act as responsible nations, engage in a dialogue. But the dialogue is constantly derailed when there are terror masterminds like Hafiz Saeed making claims like this in open rallies. So where do you think then the relationship between the two sides go?
What progress have you made on the Samjhauta Express? Please tell me. And if I would say the same about you, how would you react to that? Well, I'm sorry, I don't have much time actually. I'm again on a TV interview,
all right.
So I won't be able to spend much time. But this is exactly the situation.
Okay.
This is a pointless conversation actually.
All right, Talat Masood, many thanks. Lieutenant General Talat Masood had to go away, even though Gaurav Sawant wanted to take a question with him. Gaurav, we had to let him go because he said he's busy. He did not want to carry on with this debate. He thinks it's futile. But Brigadier Mahalingam, every time the question of 2611 is raised, the Pakistan side raises the issue of Samjhauta. Do you think this debate actually heads nowhere if both sides are trying to just harp upon issues that they think are important, whereas no solution is found and especially no action is taken against somebody like Hafiz Saeed?
So you must understand one thing, that it is not that they are raising a different issue. The point we have to understand is the Pakistan's army and the ISI are not interested in any talk or, for that matter, any understanding and peace with India. That is the basic reason why every time you talk about 2611, they will sidestep the issue by bringing in something entirely different. Now, Gaurav brought out a very good point. He hit the nail on the head when he said that when India cannot help itself, how will the world community help you? The point is that we talk about world community, we talk about talks. Haven't we started talking with Pakistan right from 47?
All right. So the basic point here is that India needs to take a hard stand as far as the actions of Pakistan are concerned.
Not only hard stand. India has to take such measures to handle Hafiz Saeed independent of anything else. Until unless you do that, the Pakistan will not listen to you. You have to tell them that when they indulge in these things, it sort of has a cost. They have to feel the cost unless they will not
And
act.
India tried to make them feel that cost last year when they called off the foreign secretary level talks. However, there seems to be a flip-flop here as well, which gives Pakistan an indication that India is not serious as far as taking off or rather calling off the talks is concerned. Gaurav Sawant wants to make a quick point here. Gaurav, you want to put
General Talat Masood is raising a bogey when he compares 2611 and Samjhauta. The Samjhauta accused are in jail. They are not making speeches like Hafiz Mohammad Saeed is. Samjhauta accused do not have state patronage the way Hafiz Saeed has PMLN and PTI leaders with him on stage. That's point one. Point two, very clearly, you cannot have dialogue with Pakistan as long as Pakistan continues to spread terror in India, and that is something that Pakistan needs to realize, and that's the policy that India intends to push forward, Maha.